Welcome to 66 and 6. That's me, right there, in the red, in the horns. I do know the guy in the blue, though, so, and that guy in the red behind him, and then some of the other people behind me. Yeah, I ended up making a couple of friends while I was here. It's the Mob Ride in Atlanta 2023. And I'm not even on my own bike. My bike was in the shop. I'll tell you about that in a minute. First off, big thanks to everybody that put on this event, because I know it's a lot of people to put together. But holy shit, that dude's awesome. So getting back to why I wasn't on my own bike here, I was actually having some noise coming from my stator. I have a 2006 GSXR 600. I just replaced my stator with a Rick stator, but I kept getting this kind of high-pitched whistle noise. I'd done a few different gasket changes. I made sure to do all the gasket sealer, made sure everything was put back the way it was supposed to. I still was having an issue with having that high-pitched ring, which obviously was bothering me. I didn't have that before. I even ended up buying a Woodcraft stator cover, which continued to not fix the issue. Took it to a shop local to here, and they told me that it was actually just the stator. I rented a bike through RiderShare. I know some of these guys right here doing burnouts and stuff, like hooligans. Obviously, I'm not going to do a burnout on somebody else's bike. It's not my bike. I'm not going to trash it. Originally, I heard about the Mob Ride in 2022, but I was so unable to go that year because the bike that I was going to rent at that time, the guy wouldn't let me do. I rent on because it was supposed to also rain, and it didn't end up raining, so I didn't have a bike. Also, I'm going to try to tag as many people as I can that I see. There's no way I can possibly keep up with everybody. At first, this seemed a little intimidating, riding with so many different riders. And I'm estimating it's around like close to 250, maybe 300 riders by the time it was all said and done. Especially riding with so many people that I don't know, and I don't know how they ride in other groups. You know, it's a little intimidating. I have to say that it's an experience that I think that anyone that does rides should do. You can't ride by a car without touching it. We feel the same way about trucks. Of course, hand signals, very important to keep everybody together, especially when you have a large group. It's always weird knowing when to take turns too, because you want to be courteous to everybody else that you're riding with. So another big shout out that I have to do is to the guys that are helping out direct traffic. You can see them right there. They drive ahead, they cut off roads, they make sure that everyone can stay together, nobody's missing any turns. It's an incredible amount of planning and skill to be able to do that, so major hats off to these guys, seriously. They did a great job this year. I'm sure that that's come with practice, and that wasn't something that was just right off the bat. There wasn't too many places in the beginning that we could really open up, gain a little bit of speed as we're going through the city, obviously, but a little bit later we do get to get on the interstate. Guy that I ended up meeting doing the wheelie. There was a lot of people that ended up doing some wheelies throughout, but I'm going to put a wheelie counter on the screen. Just trying to convince them to do it a little bit not ahead of me. He also wraps his own bikes. Super cool dude. It's kind of hard to find people in the bike community that are really like true assholes to other bikers, at least. Everyone that I talk to at these meets are always incredibly nice. Gotta throw up your signs. At this point, you can't really keep track of where your friends are at. You just gotta keep moving. Pointing out things on the road is pretty important, you know, being in a big group. You don't want somebody running over some stuff and ruining a tire or ruining a rim. That's the fastest way to end a day like this. Such a badass on a fucking BMW 1000RR. I'm used to driving this road. It's a little bit different with a bunch of other people thinking about dividers and that kind of thing. When you have so many people on a one-lane road, it gets a little tough. I really was surprised that the weather held that day. Right before we took off, it was supposed to be pouring down rain. The rain completely missed everything. We ended up on a really beautiful day to go through the middle of the city. I never took into consideration how long we would stay at lights, considering that we have 250 people all going in the same direction. Then there's this girl that stole my heart on her cruiser. I gave her one of my key tags, so this is a pretty good shot of... was just behind us. I never got his name, but this dude's really cool. Gotta wave to the people taking pictures. We need all the support that we can get. The dude's got a Barbie on the back of his bike. Barbie! Pulling up to the next light, he realized I had a Deadpool. Had to give him a thumbs up for his Barbie as well. Can't help but showing off my Deadpool head I have over my brake cover. Wish I would have got his tag. Shout out to you, bro. You're awesome. Now this road's kind of cool because it's got a little baby curve, but it's a nice and even turn to where you can really take it smoothly. Wheelie counter just hit 3. It's not going up as fast as I thought. Who knows, maybe there's wheelies that I just didn't see. It wouldn't be my channel without the devil horns. One thing to take in while on this ride, going through the middle of the city, is just how beautiful it is. Getting to see some of the skyline. Get to look around and see some of the scenery, but you got to be careful because you're around so many other people that you could hit. This really was unlike anything I've ever done before on a motorcycle. I mean, I've done Tail of the Dragon before, but having so many people coming together doing the same thing, it's really a beautiful thing. Putting the Y in YMCA. Now there's a burnout counter. Look at that. I had to double check to make sure that the counter was right. Just look at those buildings and the way the sky's reflecting off. It's pretty awesome if you ask me. Just how they reflect off of each other is absolutely amazing. So many people in such a small space. The whole point behind these things are just to have fun. To just meet new people and have fun with your friends. That's all we ever want out of life. It's the reason why we ride motorcycles. Get off our bikes, pose at each other. It's therapy on wheels. It really is therapy on wheels. So this is the conclusion of part 1 of the mob ride. Please like and subscribe so that way you can stay tuned for part 2 and possibly part 3 where we go on the interstate with 250 people all at the same time.